that place we always drinking is the reason that I'm singing. One more shot is what I'm missing. I know I will risk it all, 'cause you're my fireball. You won't have to crawl when you gon' fly away with me. The way you lift me up, just can't get enough. Pull me out the dust, then you take me higher. This that love that don't expire, no. I got that undivided love, my fireball. Don't need no drinks when I can vibe with you. Don't need no green when I can fly with you. These lights are falling down on us right now. Yeah, and you're still shining bright. Don't need no drinks when I can vibe with you. Don't need no green when I can fly with you. These lights are falling down on us right now, and you're still shining bright. I would risk it all, 'cause you're my fireball. You won't have to cry when you can fly away with me. The way you lift me up, I just can't get enough. Pull me out the dust, then you take me higher. This that love that don't expire, no. I got that undivided love, divided love, 'cause I will risk it all, oh, 'cause you're my fireball. You won't need to grow when you can fly away with me. Don't need no drinks when I can vibe with you. Don't need no green when I can fly with you. These nights are falling down on us right now, and you're still shining bright.
Welcome back to Ilios. That's right, folks. We're jumping into our second series of today against RMC Canada. And now Fuel's bringing that Diva. They got Sommer. They got that Wu Ying. They got that other one. They got Kiri.
That other one of my favorite characters.
No, I
in
remember
the
her
game
name.
here.
But yeah, and then
Seeing Symmetra TP out of spawn for Fuel here. Spark going to switch back over to the Tracer, taking that Tracer yet again. Now both of these teams did just come out of losing 3-0, and Woody is going to fall to OG Papa Smurf. Woody's in to start here on Control, not something you see every day. Fuel does not often play Woody on these control points. It's a lot harder to make the Sombra work. Not as much open air. Like, are going to be, more sort of, they're being grouped more. Bugaboo finding a trade onto the 1-for-1 here. But the Reinhardt play from RMC is an interesting choice here. Have these take corridors, because Diva has high ground control, and on Lighthouse especially, high ground is the name of the game. Ryan looks to try to charge, does not find anything, and Little Spark is cleaning house here with this Tracer, finding 2 picks. The rest of Fuel there to clean up. Fuel taking this first fight. They didn't falling, but it doesn't matter if the team finds that win. They find first half. Short team to keep this one rolling. Ultimate lead here. Bugaboo 61% to that title blast. Gonna get that one early. Scummy 62 to a bomb. I wouldn't want too much of it, giving that second lease on life, but still very crucial here as Woody finds OG Papa Smurf, and Fuel looks for a beautiful dive here. The Cassidy taken dangerously low as Woody on the backline finds a second pick. Now Scummy goes back in, finds Yogun. Fuel walking over RMC right now, really not deterred from last series at all as we were expecting. They are just continuing the pressure, and they're not letting RMC breathe.
Just hogging that spawn, camping it out, not allowing for any kind of push. We're definitely going to see a switch up coming from here. Now that Cassidy and that Ryan really not doing great against this kind of more hyper ability push there. As Diva though is going to get pinged, does get Susu'd out of it, so won't take the damage. Huge save from Delphi there. As Fuel here, Diva Bomb is going to go up. We're going to see that shield come from Ryan to kind of delay that out, but it will burn it down, and he will get taken out anyway as Bugaboo and Delphi cleaning up that backline.
Almost playing with their food in a way. I mean, you're playing Lighthouse. You just cannot afford to play a ground tank such as Reinhardt because of how crucial high ground control is on this type of map. The Diva has so much more value. Woody as well finding a lot of value. Speaking of Woody, the EMP is back, and if she's feeling how she did last series at all, we're expecting a very large one here. Does have to translocate away. Extreme healing from Bugaboo is going to be there. Hack, manually Hack comes in. EMP comes in. It finds 4 as all of RMC are going to fold here as Fuel with a beautiful follow-up on top of that EMP. And really Fuel finding their footing again, and it looks like it's going to be 100-0 on this first map of Lighthouse. Fuel come out swinging and take over.
They will not let that first series define them as they come out of the gate swinging. They are hungry. They want to stay in this. They got to score to settle. They want this bad. And it definitely showed just a great coordination, diving that attack, those DPS, just not allowing any room to breathe. And I'm very curious as to why RMC, you're seeing that Widow come out, this Ryan is just not a great choice. You need so much more control.
Shiny Hero makes me think that this might be a Ryan player. It might be a Ryan main, which might be the very reason why RMC is struggling so far. The Ryan just not as valuable. Scummy gonna take the Mauga out to play. These double chain guns. 2 hearts pumping at once. Excited to see how he's gonna be doing as he is fired up like a volcano and ready to keep this one up. As well as all of Fuel, a very momentum-based team. They love to play with that momentum. And it feels like they're so confident right now. But Artemis is going to get domed by Yogun, who is not deterred. Finds that headshot. Fuel did struggle against the Widow last time against Calgary. Let's see if they struggle here again. A Shiny Hero is over to the Diva, and already see signs of life. They've already started to find the fight. They found his first fight win off of a double pick here. Yohan finds the main pick, really the crucial target, which is that Kiri in the backline. And then Woody as well going to fall after a little bit of an overextension. That's something you're expecting to see from Woody, right? Woody is a very feast or famine kind of player on the Sombra. You're either going to find a lot of value or Woody's going to be first pick, right? It's just kind of how Fuel plays and how Fuel plays around Woody. It's set up Woody as much as possible, but sometimes, you know, that Sombra is a very flimsy character, right? She can fall very easily, has very little as far as self-skills go outside of that translocator, and now the replay here for the side of Fuel. Bugaboo finds Hyochun with the orbs. Mark as well finds Pancake, and Fuel keep on walking over. They're gonna find by just shooting those orbs into that defense matrix. Bugaboo does not really care as Diva forced to jump off the map. Get a reset going. Fuel flipped the point. 36% went over to RMC.
I mean, Fuel did, you know, they are a bit contested now. They do have a little bit more time to have to recoup this fully, but we are seeing, you know, great coordination, really going for smart picks. But Woody kind of just getting hunted here. You know, like they're so ready for her that they're kind of distracted from the other players. As Hyochun will take out Delphi in that backline, allowing for, you know, Atomic and Shiny to play a bit more aggressive. But an insane sniper shot onto Woody in Invis. Oh my goodness. Hyun here gonna, you know, whittle that one down there.
Way to break the immersion.
Oh my god.
Walls were on.
Dang
Unfortunately, Widowmaker did in fact have walls there, so it really wasn't that insane of a shot. It was still a very good shot there for Johan, but really, Woody kind of just walked into it as Fuel are going to fall. I know, I had to break the immersion.
I was like,
it is unfortunate, as we have global walls, right, so you don't always know. Still, Fuel, they're going to look for something here as Atomic Dawn has this pulse bomb, the Fuel for ultimates, and really the problem, I mean, Hyochun is finding these crucial picks. Artemis is going to be first picked twice now, and your Fury being first picked is a hard situation to deal with. These orbs from Wooyoung are going to come out and try to force Hyochun off here, but they're not going to be deterred. Bugaboo is going to find that trade, and a trade for your Widow for a Wooyoung is very favoring RMC here. Fuel will get the flip. Shiny Hero picks off Woody. A Poco Bomb comes in, but it's not going to find anyone as Pancake looking for these scopes. Shiny Hero to chase away. TP away though. Artemis dealing with moving, but it doesn't matter. Atomic Dawn there to finish off the kill. Woody here doing a lot of damage, playing a little bit of, you know, Sombra 76 action, just playing this tracking. He is going to find the answer onto the Widow, but just gets spy checked there by the mine, which means we'll not be able to get the hack off. Hyochun, he is going to survive, but Scummy in the meantime, Scummy and Spark tore apart RMC's front line and took over. Got the fight win despite what really looked like it should have been RMC's fight. I mean, they got the support pick on to Bugaboo. Artemis fell as well. There's no healing there for Fuel, but it doesn't matter as Scummy and Spark really coming online in this series so far. Tracer as well. Spark, you know, he had a hard time on the Tracer duel last time, but really I think that was just more so Lizzie being that good of a Tracer player. And they think, what are you going to find OG Papa Smurf? And they're not going to be able to touch the point. RMC falling on this first map. Fuel taking a 2-0 Ilios, and now it's RMC's map pick. We'll see where they're going to take us as Fuel and Bugaboo with a Joker. It's 7-5.
That's for weebs. No, I'm kidding. It's a valid fandom. Anyway, but yeah, no. I mean, you know, Bugaboo just incredible job keeping his team alive, though. Great support, great sustain.
And the damage. I mean, Wooyoung really is a damage character at the end of the
Widow,
day.
Like,
yeah. It's fantastic because Wooyoung has no fall off, no damage fall off. You can play outside of Widow's effective range because Widow got changed. She does not have a headshot one shot at all ranges. She does have fall off now. So you can play outside of Widow's effective range and get those orbs. It's a little bit harder on these types of this control maps as we'll be taking a short break before the second map, seeing what RMC is going to decide. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, everybody. Fuel took a very dominant first map there on Ilios. As we're heading to Kings Row, it's the Christmas variation. We're all feeling a little festive here at Fuel, and we're hoping that the teams are ready to make something happen, some sort of Christmas miracle maybe, right?
You know, some Christmas magic, right? Fuel maybe wins.
We will see, right?
We'll
As
see.
Fuel, they're going to stick to that Sombra Genji here from Woody Spark. Bugaboo and Artemis are going to be over on this Kiri that they've started to play a little bit more. We'll be fighting into on a Kiri. Pancake already hacked up. Scummy on to this Ramatra. Now, Shiny Hero, I learned, is mostly a Reinhardt and Orisa player. So, Ramatra, quite a good pick into this character pool. You can see our Fuel already did fall as Woody, again, a little feast or famine, right? Sometimes does just die at the start of a fight. As well, Spark's going to fall. Artemis going to fall to that Fire Strike, and Fuel already having to concede this first point as they are just getting walked at, getting completely stomped here by Hyokyun and Shiny Hero and the rest of RMC, as already 2 ticks are going to come out, and it's hard for them to recontest. They may play the touch here as Woody will be able to get that one touch, but might be in trouble if she does it. Gets that touch, gets the hack out, but it is going to fall instantly as Fuel here looking to try to make something happen. Scummy finds a trade. Scummy finds 2. Spark finds a 3rd. Just Scummy and Spark left here versus Atomic and Shiny Hero and Fuel. They're going to take that one. So they are going to stop the push, only giving up 2 ticks.
That's a 30-second delay there. RMC is going to have to fight so much time. This is huge for Fuel. If they can keep this up here as well, we're probably going to be dropping down to 2 minutes before they look at this final capture point, hitting it, if they can kind of recreate what they did before. Ryan is, not the best matchup into Matra, but still does have a lot of sustain, can allow for a lot of, defending that teammate support there. Missed the charge to allow Fuel to take so much more damage in this backfight. That is Cassidy going down, that is Pancake, and that will be Ryan chased out. He's going to be diving in right into that Pulse Bomb. Will cut out Bugaboo. Will be going down here, though.
Fuel still just going to have the numbers here. Trades do favor the side of RMC. Remember, they have the closer spawns. Which now Scummy is very low. Does have that Annihilation if he so chooses to pull it to try to keep the fight going. As he is going to pop it, get that extra health. Now Fuel going to walk here. Hyokyun does find that. A Shatter comes out. It only finds Woody, who is going to fall. But Fuel, they're trying to keep this one up. Now there is a Nano here for Pancake. Kind of get Shiny Hero into that main fight here. High Noon comes out just to clear out positioning as Scummy is going to fall, and Fuel will eventually concede this first point, but they burned so much time off the clock. And 30 there for their full cap, as Fuel as well. Need to get some of these trades. Spark not going to be able to find Papa Smurf, who found a Suzu for themselves. So we'll not find those trades unless Artemis can find this on a Yohyun. Okay, we're not looking, Yohyun. We're not looking. We were looking.
Oh, Christmas miracle, folks. You know, it's they say if you take Frosty's hat off, he falls right down. So yeah, actually, this is a really good contested plot. Will allow for them to build up a lot of ult charge in this kind of alleyway. Just managed to land pitch out there as just make that leeway, get that early pick, allow for a more coordinated push here. As Reinhardt will be getting aggressive. Sune comes out, is going to try and catch that Ramatra, but Juno ult will keep him alive. Suzu's coming down as well. Huge damage there, keeping it down. And that will be Ramatra falling. That backline going down from Pulse. Little Spark doing incredible work to keep themselves, just disrupting that play.
Ray just so strong in the build ultimate, really. I mean, Katsune is good, but it's nothing compared to the power that, you know, this Orbital Ray has. You have that healing consistently, you have that damage boost, he walks forward, and when you're playing a rush comp like this, Scummy, once he gets that speed ring, he can just do whatever he really wants onto the backline of RMC, as they really don't have much mobility. The most mobile character is Akiriko, and she can't really TP to anyone when her entire team is fighting in the same position. So, seeing now Woody has this EMP, is going to look for it, binds 5 yet again, but is the follow-up there for Fuel? It is exactly Scummy doing best. A beautiful cleanse there from the side of Artemis is going to make it to the Shatter. Goes completely wasted. It is a 2 ultimate fight for Fuel as Scummy pulled the Annihilation to follow up on that EMP. But that's what you're picking this Sombra for, right? EMP is such a fight-winning ultimate. When you, on Fuel's comp, you have 3 basically solo fight-winning ultimates, right? Ray wins a fight on its own. EMP often wins a fight on its own. Annihilation can win a fight on its own. For RMC, they got, like, Nano. Yeah. Now over to the Orisa, which Parasert is going to be useful, but you're just going to get run over by this Kitsune from Artemis. Is going to find Atomic Dawn in the end here. Looking for those late trades is Fuel, but now 1 minute and 30 seconds, and RMC cannot get out of this corridor. They got the payload past it. Now Fuel able to just hold here, and this is such a hard choke to get through, especially versus a comp that has so much AoE damage like Fuel's does, right? Those punches from Scummy are going to be doing so much. As well as those torpedoes from Bugaboo. Now we'll see if they can stop push yet again.
I mean, you know, pushing a choke is so difficult, especially when you have characters that rely on spacing. So here, you know, Woody doing a great job of just disrupting that backline, forcing those heals away from your tank into that backline, and just getting dumpstered there, coming in, just getting that back off. And Sombra, Woody, and Scummy making something yummy as we have a huge play happen. And again, you know, just building up those ults. Already Annihilation is all coming back. Ray and Woody is not far off from her ult either. I mean, we have a Terra Surge, a Nano, and a Deadeye. But like, who do you Nano other than
Ryan.
the Orisa?
Right? There's no more Ryan in this.
Yeah, like
Tracer's probably gonna be your actual best Nano here.
Right.
Try to get Atomic Dawn to get as much value as possible, as well as, you know, stalling that card, stalling that point. They're gonna look for something. I think I want to highlight something. You know, mechanics are important in a game like this, right? Because it is, in the end of the day, a shooter. But speaking of mechanics, what are you gonna find another 4-person EMP to close out this map? Fuel setting themselves up for a quick 2-0 lead possible, as they just have to get that first cap and get halfway through second, which is not too hard, especially the prowess they've been showing with this rush comp, which is a comp you don't see from them very often. We have not seen them pull out the Ramatra Juno very much, but as I was trying to say, right, mechanics are important, right? It's at the end of the day, it's a shooter, but I think positioning is really where these teams kind of differ very clearly. RMC struggling to find their positioning. You see, Spark's gonna hit the 6-7 there, but a very aggressive one in the cam. Spark, you know, trying to get as much energy out as possible. Very energetic player, but now you see again, like the Pancake. I want to highlight, right? The Ana was just in the middle of 4 people and just kind of kept having to go, you saw, this way, yep, just trying to heal everyone. But you just can't be sitting there when you're an Ana, right? You're the most susceptible, most diveable target. on your team, you have to just be positioning just that little bit better.
Yeah.
I think RMC, they maybe could have taken a high ground approach. They could have made it.
Right.
They didn't have to keep playing that low ground fight, but it's hard when you're playing such an immobile, tank line, right? When you have this Orisa, you're kind of forced to fight around this Orisa or around this Rhine, and Fuel taking, advantage of that very clearly. A Scummy now going to be going over to the Diva. The Ramatra worked, but Ramatra into Orisa, it's an okay matchup, but you're picking it because of the Rhine. Now the Orisa here, Diva's going to be very good here, but never mind, Scummy's going back to it. We'll see, he might roll out on a different character depending on what he sees. As RMC, no changes to the team here. Spark going to look for an opening shot with the Widowmaker from this window here on attacker spawn. See if he can get anything done with it as we head into Fuel's attack.
Jumping out, trying to go for a pick here. Can't see anyone just yet. Potentially catching the Juno out on the side. Kiro doesn't quite get caught out though, as he's going to be looking to switch off here into that Tracer pick. But Fuel already jumping onto site, getting that boost in. You see that Tracer is in that back line, so it can be a little dangerous. But you see Ana here at that high ground, getting just open in the back. They're both playing around each other. They're trying to make something happen, and it just won't be enough. That will be Hyun going down. Fuel, though, not quite the push that they wanted. They're going to be probably looking to switch it up as Scummy goes for the
Auga switch
Auga
here
switch here.
is Scummy as they're looking to make this happen. Blue going to look for this Blue Young value to try to get these block shots, this damage in. Off the Juno, since they're not playing, a comp that requires that rush as much as possible, right? You don't need that speed on a character like Mauga as you have that charge and the damage you can get done onto Orisa. Orisa just forced, doesn't even use a cooldown, it's just dead before anything can come out. The raw damage. Atomic Dawn did pick off Woody, but it doesn't matter if now there's just a Mauga in main with no tank to stop. Pancake's gonna get stomped on, finds the sleep, but a good Suzu there from Artemis means that this first point is gonna go the way of Fuel with only a minute and 20 seconds off the clock, and now they can keep this one pushing with 5 minutes to make it halfway through second point. Feels like it's just gonna be a formality here for Fuel. Take this one, especially if Woody can find a pick. The blink away from Atomic Dawn means they do not get manual hacked there. Woody's trying to play this one very aggressive as Pancake slow to walk back to spawn as a late stagger was happening.
Yeah, Fuel, I mean, from RMC, they gotta wish for a Christmas miracle. They gotta pull something out of their pocket. Really, you're playing in such a a poke-heavy comp. Like it's just Air Sword here is coming down, isn't gonna quite catch anyone as Atomic getting the double kill with Pulse, not quite getting stuck. Still, that damage was beautiful. Now here as Atomic looking to try and make something happen. Hyun getting taken out by Bugaboo.
These orbs around these corners are so deadly. 2 orbs and that's a death. Especially if you don't have your own self-healing there. As Spark is going to fall in the Tracer Mirror. Now, Sune invested for Fuel. They want to end this here and now as the cart is already at half. Atomic Dawn's Pulse is going to go wide as Woody and Artemis clean house on the back line. There's no supports left for the side of RMC, and Fuel march the cart forward and take the second map with 4 minutes on their cap. Fuel, again, coming out swinging. They're dominating here, and they're happy. There's full smiles in the room. They're feeling confident, and it feels like they're ready to close this one out. Scummy scared me there a little bit.
Oh my goodness, a little spooky. Scummy, Halloween already passed. We're in the season of magic, season of light, but a really great showing from Fuel. Definitely Camp stepping up. I mean, Woody doing a great job of looking for those picks. Scummy just holding that line, not really allowing anything through. And I mean, that's the problem with having such a limited character pool to play when it comes to RMC, especially with your tank. Like, just not being able to adapt to something like that can really let your team.
Yeah, Scummy already played 3 characters, played them all very well. The Ramatra was just such a problem on that attack. But we'll see if RMC can take this one back, if they can start to mount some sort of, comeback or reverse sweep, anything. They need a sign of life here. We'll see heading into that third map.
been thinking lately about the night that you left and told me that you hate me.
Welcome back, folks, to game or map 3. We are going on to Cerveza as Fuel here going for the classic Woody on May instead of Sombra, switching it up.
Can't play Sombra, that's banned, right?
That's
RMC
right.
finally done with this thorn in their side, and now Woody, we're onto the ball here for RMC, seeing how Atomic Dawn actually could be switching over to the tank as Shiny Hero to be set over to the Genji. Let's see how a Reinhardt player plays that Genji, as you know, Woody May is the second most played, but it's very clearly below, you know, in play time comparatively to that Sombra. So we'll see how she ends up doing, as Artemis is going to concentrate on Gyohyun, but Helga Bufels, actually all of RMC seem to have changed roles, except for OG Papa Smurf. Gyohyun is now on support, Pancake is now on DPS, and then Shiny Hero's on DPS, and Atomic Dawn. But I mean, it doesn't matter when the stomp comes in from Scummy. That overrun is going to do so much damage, and a walk over wall, not going to catch the dash away from Shiny Hero there. Hot Shot's going to come in. Pancake very close to ultimate, getting a lot of damage done onto the front line of Fuel. The High Noon is not going to do too much. The Anti-Nade had to be used defensively there for RMC, which means they don't really have much of a dive turn here. See how Atomic Dawn can do, as the Overshield has been used. They're not rolling. It does not seem to be the most efficient of balls, but even nonetheless, you know, Ball's such a strong character right now, it doesn't really matter. Let's see, a Will Spark going to be shot away here. Atomic Dawn rolling in, looking for the slam. Finds the slam, but has to be careful. Will have to roll out, just falls over. As Fuel loves to play this Mauga into the ball. It's their main counter when they are versus the ball. Let's see, Pancake finds one with the High Noon, as Woody walking a little too aggressive. Spark falls. Nano here on the Pancake, as Fuel, as RMC, they want to keep this one going.
Really going to get much value out of it, though, as he will go down. Little Spark cleaning up house as Fuel takes this first point. I mean, just an absolutely insane play. They're coming out of it with 4 ults. I mean, they're going to be able to win this contention in this first part. I don't think we're going to see the ults for another 30 seconds, and we see a good use of them. But like, yeah, here comes Genji. He's going to be able to get countered by the cage here.
Gets caged and burns to death from Scummy's chain gun. That means, you know, Fuel, they're going to be able to take another quick lead here. However, Scummy struggling to kill this Ana, and actually maybe in trouble, but uses Casper. Shout is going to keep himself alive, as now it's just the Ana left alone. Honestly, they could have staggered that if they wanted to. Fuel don't want to play around with staggers, they just want to end RMC here and now with Spark. Lethal on this Tracer so far. You know, the Pulse Bombs haven't quite been finding their mark. The neutral Pulse Pistol is doing so much. Wall not going to catch anyone there from Woody. But it is 2 ultimates here for Fuel versus 2. The mines come out from Atomic Dawn. He's going to find anything as the Kitsune used for Fuel.
Yeah, I mean, Fuel's doing such a good job, especially with May here, of isolating that tank, really not allowing for much to happen. As Pancake will take Woody out with the Deadeye, this will allow for them to build some momentum onto this point. Little Spark, though, does have Pulse Bomb. We do have Rally coming up here as to make something happen, maybe potentially counter this Kitsune. But we will have huge damage. I mean, that's Smaug is so good into that fall, just burning that HP, really not allowing for much follow-up. As Fuel will keep holding on to this site here. Scummy and Delphi cleaning up house, as a Cassidy and an Ashe really not that great into playing into kind of that rush kind of idea. So we'll have to see here as they try to make something happen. And Fuel takes this second point as they really are looking for making these plays.
Yeah, Fuel here, you know, struggling, or not struggling, sorry, RMC rather is struggling here, as Fuel taking that second flashpoint already, as, you know, problem with RMC is they're just overusing ultimates, and they're not getting value from them. Gyohyun, you know, the Nano Boost and the Kitsune were used in the same play, and it didn't find any value. Yeah. However, in the neutral, Gyohyun has been able to find Woody quite a few times here, as it will be an advantage here for RMC. The main ultimate for Fuel would have been, you know, that Blizzard and that cage, but now the Blizzard's out of the picture. Scummy has to concede space. They're going to have to do a retake here, as they do switch over to the Ramacho, which is pretty good in Mauga as you have a bunch of health bars, but does get walled off by Woody, and it's just going to fall as the healing's not able to come out. Pancake taking these pot shots, but it's not finding the value. There is a sleep invested. Bugaboo walking aggressively, maybe a little too aggressive there. Spark, a beautiful stick onto Hyohyun. Set up a Pancake, finds another with the Deadeye. Woody, though, with the icicle, shiny hero's head. Lose fuel, find the flip yet again, and they're keeping themselves on advantage. They're not letting RMC breathe.
Just great pressure here, really good spacing, forcing them out of position, especially with the Ramatra. He has that kind of poke power to kind of drive you back, especially with that. But we are seeing he'll respond in kind, getting huge damage with that burn. He's going to try and play around this Mei wall and catch, Hyohyun off guard. Does get slept though, so won't be as aggressive as he'd like. He's going to go in for the charge. He's going to get the kill with your overcharge.
Hyohyun just sitting there hard scoped in inside of a room when there is a Mauga ready to charge, ready to pounce. That's exactly what Scummy does. Now the cage comes in and it's just a free kill there onto the 3 members remaining of RMC as 80% and ticking fuel are touching the spawn door of RMC, and they're breaking the hope that RMC has to continue in this tournament as the Nano comes in for Atomic Dawn, but it doesn't matter if you get booped away and nobody is able to touch as Fuel take a 3-0 victory over RMC and keep their hopes of CEN alive and go on to face the loser of Alberta versus Calgary.
I mean, just an incredible showing from Fuel. Definitely a huge difference from that first map. You know, I think they really needed this, you know, like they're having that mental to go in so big, that boost, you know, they're coming in, they showed up, they did a really good job playing into that ball with that Mei. Yeah, I mean, just showstoppers from all of them for Fuel. And you know, an honorable mention for RMC, you know, they did have a decent showing, especially when it came to, you know, their DPS. They did a great job of, you know, kind of hunting that down, and their supports keeping that team alive, is especially with the ball.
Just a little bit, you know, a little bit too little there, unfortunately, for RMC, who are again going to fall to Fuel. Fuel, you know, they're going into this next round. It's now do or die matches from here on out. And if they win, they qualify to playoffs. But for that, and we will not be seeing that, unfortunately. We'll seeing if we can get one of the players for an interview to talk about, you know, so how the success went and how the bounce back between those two games.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. We have an absolute treat for you. Head honcho himself. How do you feel about those matches?
I'll say the first one was definitely rougher. They were a really good team. They played just absolutely better than us. I can't really hate on that. Second team, we definitely felt more confident going into. We were able to ban properly and play into them a lot better than the first one.
I think, there was flashes of brilliance for sure in that first match. I think Midtown could have probably gone either way, as well as honestly Busan was a little bit closer than it honestly probably had any right being. We don't talk about New Queens. That was an unfortunate one, but I do want to, I want to talk. Okay, as the head coach, right? As someone who's kind of dealing with both the draft and kind of overall vibes in the team, what was kind of the bounce back between? You guys lose 3-0 in a pretty rough fashion.
Yeah.
You have to play a match right away. How do you navigate that type of situation?
So going into the first map, we knew that the team that we were facing definitely outskilled us a little bit. So the whole goal was to just play our game and try to take as much as we could. If we win, we win. If we don't, then we still have another game. We can still try again. So coming into the first game, we were just like, as long as we can try our best, that's what we can hope for. Second game, we were like, we almost took them in the first. So now I feel like we can just run through most people.
Yeah, I can't, that morale booster I bet you was really needed. But I'm curious, what kind of reviews will you guys be doing? Because I know that now that you played against them, what do you think you could capitalize on?
So something that we don't do a lot is we don't play just straight meta. We come up with a lot of comps that are different, just so it makes it banning meta stuff a lot easier. Like we don't play Lucio, we'd rather play the Juno. So Lucio bans a lot of the time affect other teams. We don't play ball, so ball bans affect a lot of people. Then we have Woody, so we can counter ball when we need to. Right now the meta's kind of switching up a lot and changing, so it's different. We're trying out the Mauga a lot on
Seeing that, yeah.
on Flashpoint, just because it's good to get in quickly. So that's been kind of some things that we've been testing, and I think going into facing the next Alberta, we're facing
loser of the series, but
if we face Calgary again, I feel like we have more of a grasp on how to ban against them, because they play a lot of meta comps.
Yeah, they were playing very clearly hard meta. But I do want to say, I think you've seen throughout this semester, you guys have kind of started to adapt to new comps, right? You have been adapting with meta. I haven't seen the Ramatra rush at all. Came out of nowhere in that second series and kind of looked, lights out. Really looked fantastically drilled. So I will say, I think types of that, right, where you're playing comps that you aren't always on, but you're still finding really good success with. I think those are signs of a really strong team and a signs of really bright future, right? But thank you very much for joining us, Key.
No problem.
Now, before we head out, let's take a quick look at our schedule for the rest of this week of CEN. You'll be seeing tomorrow some COD action. Thursday, we'll be seeing League of Legends. Friday, Rocket League. And then, as far as this Overwatch team is concerned, you will not be catching that matchup for the last thing of CEN. But next week, on Friday, we will be seeing their third place match in NECC. So make sure you're following all of our socials, Fanshawe Fuel everywhere, to keep up to date with all of our streams, all of our teams, everything about that. Make sure you know when everything is happening. With that, I've been Newt.
I've been Golly Parrot.
And I'm Key.
And we'll catch you next time.